Girl, for more than half of my life, I hated the way I looked. I hated my body. I hated looking at myself in front of a mirror. I would literally tell everyone, do not take pictures of me. Do not take videos of me. But it wasn't until I finally learned everything that I do about fitness right now and lost my first ever 30 or 40 pounds that helped me become the most strongest and confident version of myself. So in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you all of the things that I've learned in my fitness journey so you can learn from my mistakes and have much better results than me and in a much quicker time frame. Welcome back, hun, and if you're new, welcome. Hi, my name is Kelly. On this channel, I teach you everything that there is to know about up-leveling yourself, self-improvement, becoming the best version of yourself, and achieving your biggest and wildest dreams. But right now, we're just going to be focusing on fitness right now, specifically about how my 5-year fat loss journey has gone. And girl, let me tell you, it's been a hell of a ride. So let's backtrack, a little background information. I grew up fat, right? Like ever since I came out of the womb, I loved food. I would eat all the time, and this led into like middle school / high school type of era. I was pretty much overweight. The doctors were saying
that I had very high cholesterol for like a 10-year-old girl.
My parents would tell me, yo, you're getting too fat, start controlling yourself. And I didn't care. I was a kid, bro. Why would I care about eating right? Why would I care about looking good and all that stuff? All I cared about was feeling good, so I wanted more food. But little did I know that it was gonna bite me in the ass once I hit high school and middle school. Because, you know, that's a time where every girl is starting getting attention from guys. You know, we're interacting with the opposite gender and whatnot at this point because we like that. But guess what your girl was getting? Your girl wasn't getting any of the attention. I'll tell you that right now. I still remember till this day that I had a big ass crush in 8th grade on this guy, and little did I find out shortly after that he called me fat behind my back. It was like, ew, no, she's fat. And I'm just like, girl, I remember crying about it, bro. It was so bad. I'm not gonna say any names. I'll be damned if anyone from my hometown sees this, but they should know. And you know, I've tried losing weight. I've been in a freaking soccer team in middle school and in high school. So I've been physically active, and it wasn't too hard to do that. But the thing that was killing me the most was learning how to properly eat and being consistent with that. You know, that feeling of feeling unlovable and like not attractive, not pretty, was really like a humbling moment for me. It made me feel ugly, I won't lie. I really didn't think I was a pretty girl. Baby girl, now I'll say it with all my freaking heart that I'm beautiful. I know I'm beautiful. I know I'm great. But back then, no. I thought I was ugly. I didn't think any guy would ever like me because of how fat I was, genuinely, which is why I didn't have my really first boyfriend until like I was 15 years old, but that's like a horrendous story or whatever. Same thing, every time like I would get with someone, I would think that, you know, they left me because I was fat type thing or I wasn't enough. But once I started actually diving into my journey, thanks to the pandemic, shout out to the pandemic, even though it was a very bad time for other people, but you know, it helped me lose my first 30-40 pounds. So what can I say? Shout out to the pandemic. My mental health was in an all-time low, girl. Like, I had so much anxiety. I was already someone that hated being home. I hated being home. I always wanted to go out, always wanted to be with friends. I refused to be at home if I didn't have to be. But obviously, with the pandemic, no one was allowed to go out. And especially in my house, they were like, no, you can't go anywhere. So I would just stick myself in my room all day. And I literally felt like I was going insane. My anxiety was peaking. Heart was racing all the time. I felt so lonely, and that was when I remembered that the only thing that would ever make me feel better is if I had some sort of movement. Like I said, I was playing soccer, and that was like the only time in my entire life where I actually felt good about myself. So I'm like, you know what, let me just go run. That's the only thing I knew how to do, was go running. I had a track field near my house at the time, and me and my parents made a deal that I could only leave the house as long as I went to work or went on runs when no one was around. So I was like, bet. So I would wake up at the crack of dawn every single day at 5 in the morning to go run at a track field that was like 10 minutes away from my house. And I did this almost every single day in the summertime. And guess what? I lost my first freaking 30 pounds before I knew it. And I became absolutely obsessed. So I did so much research because, you know, you had all the time in the freaking world to just be on your laptop or be on your phone during the pandemic. So I spent all my time doing research on calories, macros, weightlifting, protein. Like, I didn't understand jack shit about it. So I made sure that I was very educated on this because I'm someone, I won't do something unless I'm pretty knowledgeable about it or I've done it myself first, because the next steps were for me to actually eat properly, which is something I've struggled with my entire life. And by the way, if you're also struggling with learning how to properly eat or knowing what to eat for fat loss, I do have a Latina fat loss and food freedom guide that I'll be linking down below in the description. It's just a lot of fat loss friendly recipes that I personally have used in my fat loss journey as a beginner, and it's helped me lose like 30 to 40 pounds. But anyways, I would start controlling my portion sizes, started measuring my food. I learned about meal prepping. I was buying my own groceries. I was being Little Miss Independent all up in here. And my parents were actually amazed and astonished by the fact that I was losing so much weight too. But it then got to the point where I was losing too much weight, according to my mama, that I looked like I was a 12-year-old girl. She said, que tengo los brazos como una niña de 12 años, piernitas como la niña de 12 años, ¿qué pareces? Pareces chupado or whatever. I'm like, it's like, you're either fat or you're too skinny. I don't know, but my mom said that I looked way too skinny and I just ignored her because I'm like, girl, I feel good. Leave me alone. And you know, I realized as well that maybe she was kind of right later down the line because I started suffering some sort of health issues. So basically what I did was that, I'm gonna explain to you. Each macro has a certain amount of calories to it. Protein and carbs have 4 calories each, but fats have 9 calories, more than double the amount. So in my head, I'm like,
I don't really need to eat fats. Like,
I don't need avocados. I don't need to add olive oil. I'll just use a spray. I don't need to have these sort of fatty meals. Just chicken breast and Greek yogurt should be enough. And I like carbs. I like rice. I like bread. So if I can eat more of that and reduce my fats, that sounds like a win-win. Girl, I got insanely sick. This was the moment I realized that I was anemic. My hair started falling off, bro. I would be showering and then as soon as my hands passed through my hair, clumps of my hair were falling out. I had a freaking bald spot at the top of my head and that was like, I'm done. I'm done. I am done. I am done. I looked sick. I felt weaker and I got super scared. I'm like, this is not normal. What is going on? I went to the dermatologist and she said, so you're anemic. I'm like, okay. And she's like, have you been losing weight? I'm like, yeah, I've been losing weight recently. I lost 30 pounds in 3 months, but yeah, I've been losing weight. She's like, okay, well that can definitely be part of it. You know, if you lose weight a little too fast, then that could give you some like sort of these issues and whatnot. But she didn't know that I cut out fats from my diet basically at this point. That was my first learning lesson. I had to kind of get back on track with eating a little more. Everything was more stable. Problem resolved, right? For now. We'll talk about it soon. I'm still in this like weird little like skinny fat look type of era because I've already lost a lot of fat and I did some body weight exercises at the track field, so I had some sort of muscle, but it wasn't a lot. So I still look very frail according to my mama. But then I saw my friend, her name is Milady. Shout out to Milady if you're ever watching this. She is the reason why I ever decided to go weightlifting because she posted one day that she was at the gym. Me and her were really close friends in high school. So I'm like, can I join you? She's like, yeah, of course. I go with her. She teaches me like the very basics, and once again, all the knowledge that I've already learned about fitness prior, I started implementing and researching even more about forms, about compound exercises, isolation movements, progressive overload, different ways of doing it. I learned everything, girl, because I got obsessed with learning how to better myself and getting results I've never seen before and getting stronger, building muscle. So I started going to the gym more consistently. I started posting about it. And you know what happened during this time? There was this guy, we were just cool. We were like mutual friends that never really talked. He hit me up basically saying that we should work out together because he wanted to kind of start his fitness journey too. I'm like, yeah, sure, bet, of course. Because, you know, my friend did the same thing with me. Why wouldn't I do it with this kid? And, you know, we started going to the gym a lot. We started going very consistently. And at this point, he's my gym partner. Little by little, he became my best friend at the time as well. We would hang out after the gym, before the gym, on the weekends and stuff like that. So he became eventually my situationship and then my boyfriend. Eventually, right? I had a little gym love story all up in here. Felt nice, you know, because, you know, that's the dream, right? Every single gym rat, comment down below if you can relate to that. Every single gym rat girl knows that they just want to find their gym rat man. That's just the goal. I don't know about you, but that was always me growing up, and it still is till this day. I still want my gym rat boy. We became that really well-known gym rat couple. I thought I was living the thing that I always wanted. I had the relationship that I always wanted. I looked more attractive. I was finding a partner that was also in the same journey as me. And then things started to take a turn, because little did I know that this was gonna be the start of my most toxic relationship ever in my life, girl. I don't want to get too into this topic just because I don't think this man deserves to even be mentioned on any of my platforms, but I do want to share it because it did take a huge toll in part of my fitness journey and self-improvement journey. So I definitely want someone to like learn from it and kind of learn how to avoid my mistake, because baby girl, the people you surround yourself with have such a huge impact in your life, in your goals, in your well-being, and who you are as a person. And that was when I realized that things started falling off for me. My ex and I, we would fight all the time, and so many people in the gym can vouch for it. We would be fighting in the middle of the gym. We would have to leave the gym mid-session to go resolve the fight in the car for hours. We would skip gym sessions because we were trying to resolve the fight that we were having at home. I remember still till this day, girl, I was just talking about it with my friend the other day, how one time we got into such a bad fight, we had to exit the gym, and since our friends were the staff members there, they let us try to talk it out in the freaking break room area, and we were screaming at the top of our lungs to the point that this boy literally, he took his phone and slammed it on the floor and it cracked. It was such a bad toxic relationship. I've never experienced something like that. And it really affected my mental health and my gains, because think of it like this, bro. Like, you're going to the gym and you have to stop less than half the session in to go home and resolve a fight. And on top of that, this kid was, honestly, I'll be honest, he was pretty lazy. He was a lazy guy. If anything, he even said it to me that I'm kind of like basically the reason as to why he kept going to the gym so consistently. And I'm pretty sure his family said that to me too, because my consistent and disciplined ass wanted to go all the time. He would come along with me. But there were moments where he'd be like,
now let's just stay in.
or he'd be like, hey, if you want to spend quality time, then let's just stay home then and not go to the gym type shit. And I'm like, I was choosing between going to the gym or staying at home with my partner. That's when I started falling off track. I was skipping workouts consistently. I was also not eating so well because homeboy always eating fast food stuff. So I wanted to partake and spend time with him, and I would eat those things too all the time. It was not helping me in my journey, girl. God damn, I'm looking back at that like, god damn, that shit really impacted me. Wow. But anyways, I'm not trying to get into the nitty gritty of things right now. So fast forward, right? I found out the whole time he was cheating on me.
Oh, that's why 95% of the time I'm by myself. I don't deal with relationships. I can't stand that shit. I just can't. Motherfucker, start focusing on your shit.
I dumped his ass immediately, and I found out that he was cheating on me with a minor. So I reported his ass to the police, and then after that, I decided that I'm going all in on myself. I'm done. I want to focus on me again. I want to do my own thing. I let myself go so much. My mental health was so bad because of this kid. Build myself back up, and that's exactly what I did. Since I gained weight with being on with this kid, and also because I did a nasty ass bulk in between that whole session too, I lost again my 30 to 40 pounds, I believe. Once again, I was in that like super lean, skinny queen type of moment. I was super freaking lean, bro. You can see the muscle definition on my back, and I'll post it right here. And I felt great, baby girl. I felt confident as hell again. I felt like I was the bad bitch in the freaking town again. Like, I was at my peak. And then I got sick again. You think I would learn the first time, right? No, I did not. Jesus said, you're not learning, so let me make this one worse. And it did. I had anemia again at its peak, but this time, instead of losing my hair, I missed my period for 3 months straight. And I was so freaking confused, because I'm like, the only way for me to freaking miss my period is if I'm like pregnant, and I haven't had anything with anyone in months at this point, you know? So I was really concerned, and that's when I kind of put two and two together. So I started cutting out fats again. I only ate like white meat, which is not bad for someone who has anemia. You need to have food with iron, and I wasn't even eating too many vegetables either with iron. No red meat, no vegetables with iron. I think I even stopped taking my iron pills. Like, girl, I was asking for it. Like, I was literally asking for it. I'm like looking back at it like, god damn, I should have known better. Girl, it got to the point that I had to call out of work 2 days in a row because I was stand up. And you know, like that feeling when you have like a very bad hangover the next night after drinking so much and the room starts spinning? That was me, just laying in bed, standing up, breathing. I'm not really the type of girl to just like lay around and watch TV and Netflix and watch movies. But when I am sick, there's nothing else I can do. Like, that's all my brain can handle, and that's exactly what I did. That's how I knew. That's when I knew I was bad, girl. I was bad at that point. I did everything in my power to get my iron levels up. I did everything to eat healthy again, and that's when I started looking into like balanced eating. And I always prioritize now till this day to make sure I'm eating my fats. There's not a day where I'm not eating avocado, girl. I've been traumatized since then. Now I start getting to the point where once again I'm being more like consecutive on my personal page of posting about my journey and this and that. And that's when a lot of people start telling me like, Kelly, you should definitely start like, you know, creating a fitness page. You know, I feel like you'd be really good at it. And it never crossed my mind. But I had this one friend, her name is Shayla. She's a content creator herself. She is the reason I even started social media to begin with. This is gonna sound so selfish and I'm so sorry, but I just want to be so real with you right now as to why I even started all of this in the beginning. It's because homegirl was being sponsored by the brand Able, and she told me she was getting money for it. And that's when it freaking blew my mind. I'm like, you can get paid for posting fitness stuff? Girl, that's my dream. Say less. Immediately, I created K Coca Fit. I put it on Instagram. I changed my personal TikTok into my fitness TikTok thing. I learned about social media, the social media algorithm, video editing. I learned everything from the ground up by myself at this point. And I started being super consistent with content. Slowly over time, I started getting traction. I even became an online fitness coach.
We interrupt this program for an important news announcement.
And by the way, if you didn't know, I am an online fitness coach where I get to specifically guide you and teach you all of the mistakes that I've made so you can have way better results than I ever have. So if that sounds like something that you would be interested in, you can just click my link down below in the description. I got to the point where I had one video, and this video probably changed my entire life. It went so freaking viral. I got over 13 million views on Instagram, 9 million views on TikTok. It literally blew up my page because I gained over 100,000 followers in 1 month. It was basically a video of me explaining about how I had a flat ass and how I'm trying to grow my flat ass into some sort of ass, right? After that, I was like, okay, this is what I'm known for. This is what the people follow me for. So now I have to grow my ass, bro. Like, I just have to. There is no other option. So you know what I did? I decided to start a nasty ass bulk because I wanted to do it quickly. I wanted to prove people that I could do it. And I started eating a lot because, baby girl, I grew up big back. Like, I grew up big back. I know how to eat, and I still do. My issue is not knowing how to eat. My issue is knowing how to stop eating so much. And during this whole process, I was eating like crazy. I was trying to train like crazy as hell, super high intensity, so I could grow my glutes as quickly as possible. And don't get me wrong, I did see some results. I'm gonna put it right here because, baby girl, I did see some results. But the issue was that, one, I gained 30 pounds in just a span of 3 months, which is crazy. And secondly, I also hurt myself. I injured my back and my hip, and I'm still suffering with the consequences about it till this freaking day. And it completely limited my ability to grow my glutes and legs because I had very limited range of motion. But you know what? Apparently common sense wasn't so common for me at this point that I thought that I could still train the way I was trained and eat the way I was eating. Baby girl, that's how I got fat again. Look at these videos. Look at these pictures. I got fat, bro, and it was so devastating because, you know, I worked so hard to go from this very lean version of myself to like now the overweight self. I almost gained all the weight back at this point again. I felt less and less confident. I was feeling super insecure, and I started realizing I started taking less pictures of myself. I started posting myself less with my body, unlike before. It was so frustrating because usually the gym is my outlet, but the fact that I couldn't even train as hard as I wanted to really messed me up, man. And after that experience, I learned that, bro, it doesn't matter what the hell other people think about your journey, because at the end of the day, it is your journey. So don't try to impress anyone during it. If someone doesn't like the way your arms look, your back looks, if someone thinks that you should be growing your legs or focusing more on glutes, let them think that. Let them think that. Because why? It's not their journey. It is yours. And let yourself do whatever the hell makes you feel better. If you're someone that likes to do a bunch of cardio and you don't really give a fuck about getting muscle, that's fine. But do whatever makes you happy. And I wish I kind of took that more seriously because I try to impress people so much with knowing how to grow glutes and whatnot that I took it to the extreme. Baby girl, I never had the goal of growing my glutes. I didn't care about having BBL allegations. Like, I did not. All I cared about was look looking and feeling good in my skin and wearing clothes that I've never been able to wear before with full-blown confidence and being strong at the same time. But this whole glute growth thing was literally a bit, I don't want to say waste of time because everything happens for a reason, but it was literally pointless. And this literally all happened like last year. After that nasty ass bulk, I decided that, you know what, I'm done feeling this way. I'm gonna go back on the cut again and I'm gonna do it right this time. No shortcuts, no cutting out any sort of macronutrient. I'm doing it the right way and I'm gonna try to prioritize recovery as much as possible right now. I made this decision last year. Oh my God, literally exactly a year ago. I started this decision around May or June. And since then, I have lost a total of, hold on, I did the calculations right here for you guys. Hold on. So in total, I have lost 18 pounds and currently weigh 143 pounds in 1 year time. I'm not telling you this so you sound discouraged. Like, Kelly, that sounds like a ridiculous amount of time to lose that little amount of weight. Well, let me try to summarize everything I just told you. One, I took it slow because for me, if I ever try to do anything fast, at the end of the day, it just bit me right back in. So I was like, I'm gonna just go slow because I know that if I've lost weight once, I know exactly what I need to do to get it. I know it will happen. It'll probably take longer, but I know it will happen as long as I'm consistent, and I know how to be consistent now. Mind you, during this time, since I prioritized balance so much, I was going on vacation. I went on 2 vacation trips. I was drinking a lot in one of them and partying, and then we also had the holidays like Thanksgiving, New Year's, Christmas, Valentine's, all these holidays in between where I was still trying to enjoy the moment, live in the present, and not be so hyper fixated on the food much so I can, you know, be a normal human being. I know I just said a lot between these like 5 years in my fitness journey. Quite frankly, I could have been so much farther by now if I hadn't made so many mistakes, and that's exactly why I'm sharing this with you now. Keep in mind, girl, I had to start off with like the shittiest foundation. I had no knowledge about fitness. No one in my family knew anything about fitness or dieting. I had little to no friends that were into that sort of stuff either, so I had to learn everything on my own, which is why I've made so many mistakes. And that's exactly why now like I like to help women like understand fitness, understand how to like better themselves, dieting, meal prepping, going to the gym and whatnot, so you don't have to make the same mistakes that I did. If you're in a toxic ass relationship that's holding you back, quite frankly, let that man go. If you're at a point right now where you ended up gaining all the way back because of X, Y, and Z, that's okay. Why? Because if you did it once, you can do it again. And if you're at a point right now where you've also gotten in and it just feels like you're not at the same point that you once were when you were at your strongest peak at the gym, that's okay. Focus on rehabilitation and recovery like I did. I went to PT for 3 to 4 months and I'm still suffering till this day, but I've gotten so much better. Nothing in life is ever linear, and I am a prime example of that right now. But you want to know the one thing that has always remained the same throughout the last 5 years is the fact that I showed up and I never stopped. Baby girl, the only way for you to ever fail in anything in life is the moment you decide to stop. But if you keep showing up every single day, even if you make mistakes, that's still progress, and progress is better than no progress. At the end of the day, I'm very grateful and thankful for everything I've learned in the last 5 years in my fitness journey because it has taught me so much. It taught me how to prioritize being healthy over being skinny. It taught me how to prioritize myself and my goals over being in a toxic relationship with some guy. It taught me how to grow on social media and inspire thousands of women to do the same thing. But most importantly, it taught me that everything that you go through in life happens for a freaking reason because you're supposed to learn from it so you can then grow from it. And after going through all that in the last 5 years, my new goal with this YouTube channel and quite frankly all my other social media platforms is not to help you get skinny. Quite frankly, I don't care about you getting skinny. What I care about is for you to get stronger, feel more confident, become more disciplined, ambitious, so you can achieve any, and I mean any single goal that you have out there for yourself. Which is exactly why from here on out, I'm gonna be sharing so many more of my personal stories and what I've learned from it, the mistakes I've made just in my entire self-improvement journey, so you can learn from, so you can have much better results than I did. So if you wanna learn how I grew my social media platforms from the ground up, how I left my toxic relationship and started focusing on myself, or anything I mentioned throughout this entire and want more of an in-depth video about it, just let me know in the comments below and I'll be more than happy to share it with you. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed that video. I think this is the most personal you and I have ever gotten all up in this social media page, bruh. I feel so exposed and vulnerable now. But I do hope you learned from it. I hope that it was somewhat entertaining, relatable, inspiring, whatever the case may be. And if you haven't already, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe to this video so I can keep making much more videos like these because I just want to help inspire and motivate you to become the best version of yourself, Miss. Anyways, I have to record another video and I'm late. I'm super late for the gym. Oh my god. I will talk to you later, hon. Have a good one. Bye!